You're about to hear something that will make you look at your pocket change in a completely different way. Imagine a single coin, small, ordinary in appearance, hiding in plain sight, yet it's worth over $1 million. Not a fantasy, not a story in a movie. A 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny could make someone who finds it an instant millionaire. It sounds impossible. After all, it's just a penny. A coin we toss in jars, tip at restaurants, or leave forgotten in drawers. Yet this particular penny carries a secret, one that only the most careful collectors truly understand. And today, you're going to learn how to spot it before someone else does. The story begins back in 2004, when millions of Lincoln pennies were minted across the country. But somewhere in the United States, a tiny fraction of these coins was produced without the familiar mint mark, a silent anomaly, unnoticed by most. Nobody realized at the time, but these rare coins would become legends in the world of collecting, each quietly hiding the potential to be worth $1 million. The truth is, it's all about rarity, condition, and that invisible line between ordinary and extraordinary. Collectors discovered that these pennies, missing the mint mark, are incredibly scarce. Some exist only in circulation for a few days before vanishing into someone's pocket, never to be seen again. The ones that survived? They're worth a fortune, but here's where it gets even more mysterious. Unlike old coins, these 2004 no-mint mark pennies don't look flashy. They're made of the same copper-plated zinc as any other penny. There are no dramatic engravings, no historical figures screaming for attention. But the difference is in the detail, in the subtle absence of a single letter, a tiny mark that can make the difference between an ordinary penny and one worth over $1 million. Let me pause for a moment and make this real for you. Imagine digging through a jar of change. You flip a coin over, and at first, it looks just like any other. But then, you notice something strange, no mint mark. That simple observation could mean you just stumbled upon a piece of history and a fortune. The excitement, the disbelief, the sheer thrill of realizing what you're holding. It's a feeling few ever experience. Collectors have shared stories of people who found these pennies in the most mundane places. A wallet, a pocket, even a cup left on a counter. The lucky finder often describes a wave of emotion, disbelief, excitement, even fear, as if handling something sacred. Because it is sacred, not in a religious sense, but sacred in its power to transform a life overnight. One ordinary moment, one flip of a coin, and suddenly, you're in possession of $1 million treasure. 2004. Then, focus on the obverse, the side with Lincoln's profile. Most pennies have a small letter near the date, a mint mark indicating where it was made. D for Denver, P for Philadelphia. But this penny has none. It's blank, unassuming, and often overlooked. Condition matters too. Coins that haven't been worn down, scratched, or tarnished are exponentially more valuable. The closer it is to mint condition, the closer you are to holding a coin worth a fortune. The answer is yes, and the odds are higher than you think. Millions of pennies were minted, and many passed through ordinary hands. But only a tiny number were minted without the mark, slipping quietly into circulation. That means somewhere, right now, one could be hiding in a jar on your counter, tucked in an old wallet, or sitting forgotten in a drawer. Think about the emotional weight of that. A single coin, sitting idle for years, could completely change your life. Imagine discovering it. Your heart races, your hands shake, and suddenly, the reality hits. This isn't just spare change. This is a ticket to a completely different future. A penny that could make you financially secure, a penny that others might pay millions for, sitting in the most ordinary place imaginable. Collectors often talk about the suspense, the patience it takes to hunt these coins. It's not just luck, it's knowledge, it's observation, it's attention to detail. Learning how to identify them, knowing what to look for, and understanding their story is what separates someone who finds a rare penny from someone who doesn't. And once you know, every penny you see carries a new sense of possibility. Here's a secret most people don't realize. Even though this coin is over a decade old, it can still appear anywhere. In circulation, in old coin rolls, in drawers, or even left behind in cash registers. The rarity isn't just in its creation, it's in its survival. That's why collectors are willing to pay eye-watering sums. A coin in the right condition, found at the right moment, can easily cross the $1 million mark. And once it's sold, its story spreads, becoming legend. The thrill isn't just in the money. It's the mystery, the history, the way this penny quietly defied the odds for decades. It's the imagination of the countless hands it passed through, each person unaware of what they carried. And when the coin finally surfaces, it's as if time itself has conspired to deliver a miracle. So, when you look at your pennies, think about the possibilities. Examine the date carefully. Look for the mint mark. Feel the weight, the texture. Pay attention to the ones that seem ordinary, because it's the ordinary ones that often hide extraordinary secrets. The 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny is more than metal and copper. It's a story, a mystery, and potentially a life-changing treasure. Remember, the opportunity is fleeting. Once these coins are discovered, they rarely reappear. But the thrill, the hunt, the chance to hold history in your hands, that's what makes the journey unforgettable. Every time you handle coins, every time you sort change, you're participating in a silent, suspenseful story that could end with your fortune being made. So take a closer look at your change. Handle each penny with curiosity and care. One of these ordinary pennies could hold the extraordinary power to transform your life. One simple discovery, one careful eye, and suddenly, you could be part of a story worth millions. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, feeling its weight, its history. Now imagine that same coin could change your life forever. You could be looking at something worth over $1 million, right in your pocket, hiding in plain sight. The story begins in 1942, a time when the world was at war, when every penny mattered more than ever. The United States was producing coins at a dizzying pace, but something extraordinary slipped through the cracks. Amid the hundreds of millions of pennies minted that year, a small number were made under unusual circumstances. The 1942 no mint mark wheat Lincoln penny. And these pennies are not just old coins. They are a secret fortune waiting to be discovered. Imagine the hands that held this coin before you. Soldiers, shopkeepers, families counting change to make ends meet. No one knew, not even the mint workers, that some of these coins would survive decades to become worth millions. And yet, here they are, quietly sitting in jars, drawers, or old coin collections, completely unnoticed. The answer lies in rarity and circumstance. These 1942 pennies without a mint mark were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, but the story is deeper than that. During the war, copper was being redirected for ammunition and equipment, making some coins from that era far more limited. The few surviving examples in pristine condition are so rare that collectors pay top dollar. We're talking over $1 million for the finest examples. But spotting this coin is not as simple as picking up any old penny. The first thing you need to know is what to look for. This coin is made of steel coated in zinc, a wartime experiment that changed its appearance from the traditional copper. Look closely at the surface, a grayish metallic sheen, sometimes even with tiny rust spots, tells you it's different. Check the date, 1942, clearly stamped, no mint mark beneath the year. That absence of a mint mark is what separates an ordinary penny from one that could be worth a fortune. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Some of these pennies have subtle differences in weight and color, tiny errors from the minting process. A slightly off-center strike, a faint doubling of the date, or unusual metal spots can multiply the value exponentially. It's these small imperfections, unnoticed by the casual collector, that make the difference between a penny and $1 million treasure. Imagine holding this coin and realizing that it's not just metal. It's history, it's a story, it's a fortune that survived wars, recessions, and decades of change. Every scratch, every mark, tells a story of survival and endurance. And now, after all these years, that story could belong to you. But don't be fooled. Not every 1942 penny is worth millions. Most are still common, circulated coins. That's why careful inspection is key. Take your time, use a magnifying glass, compare with verified examples. Look for clarity in the date, absence of a mint mark, and the right steel coloration. Even seasoned collectors have missed the most valuable coins because they rushed, thinking every old penny is the same. Think about the emotional impact. You reach into your drawer, almost absent-mindedly, and there it is, a coin that could turn your life upside down. Not a lottery ticket, not a stock tip, but a tangible piece of history worth over $1 million. The excitement, The disbelief, the thrill, it's unlike anything else. And the best part? This treasure doesn't require luck or timing. It only requires attention, knowledge, and a willingness to look a little closer. Collectors around the country have stories of finding these pennies tucked away in rolls, envelopes, or old coin collections. Some didn't even know what they had until a professional appraisal revealed its true worth. And that moment, when the value is revealed, when reality hits, when you realize this small coin could buy houses, fund dreams, or change your family's life forever, it's pure magic. Always check coins from 1942 carefully. Examine their weight, their shine, and their date. Even a single difference can signal that this is no ordinary penny. And if you find one in near-perfect condition, you're holding a piece of American history and a literal million-dollar opportunity. Remember, the steel pennies were only produced for a few months. The process was experimental. That scarcity is what makes the 1942 no mint mark wheat penny so astonishingly valuable. Each coin that survived the decades is a whisper from the past, a reminder of ingenuity, necessity, and the stories hidden in everyday life. Collectors who know the signs can turn ordinary coin hunts into life-changing discoveries. They handle these pennies with reverence, understanding that they are not just coins, but keys to an incredible financial and historical treasure. And every time a new one surfaces, the story spreads like wildfire, inspiring hope in other collectors. A hope that you might be next.so. The next time you open an old coin roll or dig through a dusty drawer, pause and look closely. Examine the 1942 pennies. Check for no mint mark. Feel the weight, inspect the steel, compare it with images of verified high-value coins. This is the moment where knowledge meets opportunity. This is the moment where a penny becomes priceless. Think about the thrill of discovery. Imagine telling your friends or family that you found a coin worth millions. The disbelief, the excitement, the pride. And it all started with a small, seemingly ordinary coin that has been hiding in plain sight for over 80 years. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, something that looks ordinary, maybe even forgotten. You flip it over, expecting just another penny, and suddenly it hits you. This tiny piece of metal could be worth over $1 million. Right there, hiding in plain sight. Most people walk past it every single day without a clue. But for those who know, this coin is nothing short of a miracle. Back in 1981, the United States minted millions of Lincoln pennies. They were supposed to be simple, everyday currency. But hidden among them, almost like a secret waiting to be discovered, was a rare anomaly, the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Unlike the regular pennies stamped with a D or a S, these coins carry no mint mark at all. And that small, almost invisible detail is what makes them priceless. No one planned for this coin to become legendary. It wasn't a deliberate rarity, just a tiny production error that escaped the eyes of the mint workers. Yet, that imperfection turned a humble penny into a treasure that could change someone's life forever. Imagine finding one of these, knowing it's worth over $1 million. A single coin transforming your entire world in a heartbeat. Most collectors would never even consider the coins in their pockets. They look for rare silver dollars or commemorative coins, not the loose change jingling in their wallets. But that's exactly where this coin has been hiding for decades, quietly waiting for someone to recognize its value. It's a reminder that fortune often comes disguised as something ordinary. First, check the year. Every coin from 1981 will be stamped with that date. But the key difference is the mint mark or the lack of one. A normal penny from that year will show a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. The no mint mark coin has nothing. That tiny absence, almost invisible to the untrained eye, is what separates a regular penny from a potential million-dollar find. The thrill of discovery doesn't stop there. You'll want to examine the details closely, the sharpness of Lincoln's profile, the quality of the strike, and even the luster of the metal. Collectors have learned that condition matters just as much as rarity. A coin in pristine shape could be worth far more than one that's worn down. Every scratch or mark can be the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Imagine the stories these coins have seen, the hands they've passed through, the pockets they've jingled in, the wallets and jars they've quietly filled over 40 years. And now, one of them could be yours. Every glance at a jar of pennies could be a heartbeat closer to finding a life-changing treasure. Some people have stumbled upon them without realizing. A coin slipped from a couch cushion or found forgotten in a desk drawer later turned out to be a 1981 no mint mark penny. Lives were changed overnight. Imagine sitting down to check your coins and realizing that a single, unassuming penny in your collection is worth over $1 million. It's not just money. It's the kind of discovery that rewrites your future. These questions fuel collectors' obsession. Every coin tells a story, but the no mint mark penny whispers secrets about luck, timing, and the hidden treasures of the everyday world. If you want to find one, patience is key. Start by checking any coins minted in 1981 in circulation or in old collections. Examine each penny carefully. Look at the area just below the date. No mark? Take a closer look. Condition and clarity are critical. Even subtle differences can mean the difference between a regular penny and a $1 million coin. Every few moments, remember that time is your ally and your competitor. Every coin passed over by someone else could be the very one that changes your life. The excitement builds with every flip, every inspection. That adrenaline, that heartbeat in your chest as you realize a coin could be worth millions, is unlike anything else. Collectors often describe the feeling as surreal. You hold a coin that, to anyone else, is just a penny, but to you, it's a doorway to possibilities you've only dreamed of. Every year, thousands of coins from 1981 are examined, but only a few are no mint mark. The odds are slim, but the reward is infinite. Some lucky hunters have documented their finds. Stories of people discovering these coins in jars, boxes, even under couch cushions, flood forums, and collector clubs. Every tale is a reminder that treasures exist in the most mundane places, and the thrill of discovery is worth every moment of careful searching. The no mint mark Lincoln penny is not just a coin, it's a symbol. A symbol that luck favors the prepared, that ordinary objects can hide extraordinary value, and that anyone, at any moment, can stumble upon a life-changing opportunity. It's hope cast in copper, waiting for someone patient enough to recognize it. Take the time to learn the nuances. Hold pennies up to the light. Examine edges and surfaces. Every tiny detail matters. This is where knowledge meets opportunity. Every second spent examining coins brings you closer to a potential treasure. Imagine finding it in a jar you forgot about, a coin you overlooked for years suddenly revealing itself as priceless. Collectors worldwide chase rarities, but the no mint mark penny is special. It's one of those rare anomalies that doesn't just exist in theory. It's out there, quietly, patiently waiting to be discovered. The suspense, the possibility, the dream, it all converges on a small copper disc. When you finally hold it in your hand, the reality hits you. This is no ordinary penny. This is a piece of history, a stroke of luck, a hidden fortune. The excitement is palpable, the emotional impact profound. The world seems to pause as you realize the magnitude of your discovery. And remember, this isn't just about money. Sure, over $1 million could be in your grasp, but it's also about the thrill of discovery, the connection to history, and the story you now carry forward. This coin has a legacy, and now, it could be part of yours. So, check your drawers, jars, and old collections. Examine every penny with care, patience, and a keen eye. The reward is real. The treasure is tangible. The story could be yours to tell. Every second spent searching is a step closer to that moment when you finally hold a piece of history worth more than you ever imagined. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand, just a tiny coin, the same kind you've passed by 1,000 times in your pocket or at the store. But what if I told you that this ordinary penny could be worth over $1 million? Not a typo, not a fantasy. $1 million hidden in plain sight. And most people walk right past it without even noticing that it all starts in 2015, the year most Americans thought they were just collecting their usual pennies. But unknown to the general public, a tiny mistake at the U.S. Mint created a rare error coin, a 2015 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. No D for Denver, no P for Philadelphia, just a lonely, unassuming coin. And mistakes like this are what make the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth millions. It's all about scarcity. When the mint accidentally skips the mint mark, collectors scramble. These coins vanish from circulation almost immediately, and what's left becomes a treasure, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for anyone paying attention. Imagine being the person who stumbles across one at the bottom of a jar or between the cushions of a couch. 1 second, you're just counting change. The next, your heart is racing because you're holding a potential million-dollar find. It's the thrill collectors dream about, the kind of story that gets passed down in coin-collecting circles for decades. First, know what a 2015 Lincoln penny should look like. Every 2015 penny minted in Philadelphia should carry a P on the obverse side, just above the date. Denver coins should have a D. The no mint mark penny lacks that letter entirely. It looks like a normal penny at a glance, which is exactly why it hides so well. The missing mark is tiny, but to the trained eye, it screams rare and valuable. Hold the coin in the right light. Examine the area just above the date. Is the mint mark absent? Does the coin feel slightly off in weight or strike? Error coins often have subtle differences in texture and sheen. Even seasoned collectors can be shocked at how easy it is to miss it. And yet, once identified, the coin's value skyrockets. The story behind these pennies adds even more drama. Every coin tells a tale of the mint floor, the machines, the workers, the exact moment an error occurs that could turn an ordinary object into a fortune. Picture the conveyor belts, the humming presses, and then, in a split second, a mint mark is skipped. No one notices until the coin reaches circulation. And suddenly, decades later, it becomes legendary. Collectors often describe the moment they first hold a rare penny as almost spiritual. Your pulse quickens. You start imagining what you could do if you really held a million-dollar coin. Could you pay off debts, buy that dream home, or finally take that long-delayed trip? All because of one small piece of copper, one tiny error. And here's the part that will make your head spin. Many of these coins were spent, lost, or tucked away in jars by people who had no idea what they were holding. The ordinary 2015 pennies you find in circulation might be hiding this incredible error. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack, but the needle is worth over $1 million. If you want to increase your odds, focus on pennies from 2015 collected in the Philadelphia area. Check every coin carefully under a strong light. Examine the date and the area where the mint mark should be. Even the smallest scratch or wear can be an important clue, so handle them gently. Remember, condition can make or break a coin's value. And for $1 million coin, condition is everything. The suspense doesn't end with finding it. Grading the coin correctly is key. Professional coin graders examine weight, strike, surface, and any anomalies. Once authenticated, a no-mint mark 2015 Lincoln penny can sell for over $1 million at auction, shocking both collectors and casual observers alike. Imagine walking into an auction and watching people bid tens, hundreds of thousands, until the final hammer drops. One small penny, $1 million moment. Every now and then, collectors share stories about coins they discovered in the most mundane places, behind a drawer, in an old coin jar, even loose in a register. The thrill isn't just in the value. It's in realizing that the extraordinary can be hiding in the ordinary, waiting for someone to notice. Take a moment. Dig through your 2015 pennies. Examine each one like a detective searching for a secret. Look for the missing mint mark, study the edges, and notice the details that most people ignore. You might not believe how easy it is to overlook what could change your life. There are more undiscovered no-mint mark 2015 Lincoln pennies out there than you might think. People accidentally threw them into circulation, kept them in jars, or forgot about them entirely. Every coin you pick up could hold the key to a fortune, to a story you'll tell for the rest of your life. Imagine the excitement, the rush of holding something rare and valuable that others couldn't even recognize. That's the power of the 2015 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. A coin so ordinary, yet so extraordinary, it can turn everyday change into a life-changing discovery. Every detail matters. Light, angle, and inspection all reveal secrets hidden to the casual eye. And when you finally confirm it, when you know that tiny mint mark is missing, your perspective changes. That humble penny suddenly represents possibility, luck, and a fortune. The kind of discovery that people dream about but rarely find. Some say luck plays a role. Others credit knowledge, patience, and persistence. But one thing is certain. The 2015 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is real, and its value is undeniable. Over $1 million for a coin most people discard without a second thought. The thrill, the suspense, the life-altering potential is all wrapped in a coin smaller than a thumbnail. So, dig through those drawers, jars, and old collections. Take the time to examine, inspect, and truly look at each penny you've been overlooking. One coin, one moment, could change everything. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. You won't believe this, but right now, in your pocket change or tucked away in a dusty drawer, there could be a coin worth over $1 million. I'm talking about a single, ordinary-looking Lincoln penny from 1988, but not just any penny. This is a coin that could turn a quiet afternoon into the day your life changes forever. Most people overlook pennies. They see them, they toss them, they forget about them. But this 1988 penny is different. It hides a secret that the vast majority of collectors don't even know exists. Imagine a tiny piece of copper holding the potential to make someone a millionaire. Here's the mysterious backstory. In 1988, millions of Lincoln pennies were minted. Most of them went straight into circulation, spent, and forgotten. But a rare batch was produced without a mint mark. This was not by design. It was an error, a tiny slip in the vast machinery of the U.S. Mint. Errors like this are incredibly rare, and the few coins that survived decades of handling in wallets, jars, and drawers are now worth unimaginable sums. Now, let me pause for a moment and ask you to picture this. You're sorting through old change, just casually flipping coins like anyone else. And there it is, a 1988 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks just like the other pennies. But if you know what to look for, it's a flashing beacon of fortune. The thrill here is real. People have discovered these coins in the most unexpected places, in jars at thrift stores, in coin rolls buried in basements, even stuck between couch cushions. And when they realized what they had, the shock was absolute. This is not just a penny. This is a key to $1 million surprise waiting to be unlocked. 1988. That's the first clue. Then, check the area near Abraham Lincoln's bust. Normally, coins minted in Philadelphia won't have a mint mark. But these rare ones are special because some collectors and dealers have verified them as the no mint mark error variant. You need a magnifying glass to inspect it carefully. The details matter. The lines in Lincoln's beard, the lettering on the front and back. These tiny features separate an ordinary penny from a coin worth $1 million. Every time you examine a coin like this, your heart should be racing. Because unlike other collectibles, these pennies are hiding in plain sight. You don't need a vault. You don't need insider connections. You just need keen eyes and a bit of patience. Collectors have spent years chasing rare coins like this, and some have literally stumbled upon them by accident. One man was cleaning out a desk drawer, almost ready to toss a bag of pennies into the trash, when he noticed something unusual. The shape, the shine, the missing mint mark, it all added up. He didn't believe it at first. Could one penny really be worth over $1 million? He took it to a professional, and the confirmation sent chills down his spine. That single coin changed everything. The emotion tied to this discovery is unlike anything else. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that has survived more than 3 decades, hidden through generations, and suddenly realizing it's $1 million treasure. It's not just about money. It's about connection to history, to the craft of minting, and to the rare moments when life surprises you beyond your wildest dreams. And here's the thing. You don't need to travel far. You don't need to be a professional dealer. Look in your own coin collections, in your old jars, or even the coins in your wallet right now. That's where these pennies hide. They don't make noise. They don't wave flags. They just sit there, quietly waiting for someone to notice. Learning to spot this penny can change everything. Pay attention to Lincoln's details. The thickness of the coin, the edges, the exact placement of letters and numbers. Compare with normal pennies. The differences are subtle, but they're unmistakable once you know what to look for. This is a skill that turns ordinary collectors into million-dollar hunters. Stories like these are not fictional. People have taken these pennies to auction, and in some cases, multiple offers came in. Suddenly, a coin that once paid for a cup of coffee becomes the centerpiece of a millionaire's story. The thrill of discovery, the suspense of verification, the emotional high of knowing you've found something extraordinary. It's addictive. And the incredible part is that this is happening right now. Somewhere in the United States, in a kitchen drawer, a coin jar, or a dusty old desk, a 1988 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is waiting for the person who notices it. It doesn't shout. It doesn't beg to be found. But when it's discovered, the payoff is immediate and life-changing. Even if you think you're too late, don't give up. Millions of pennies were minted that year. Most are ordinary, but a few survive as this rare no-mint mark treasure. All it takes is a careful eye, a little knowledge, and a bit of patience to uncover something incredible. Now, imagine the stories that coin could tell if it could speak. From the U.S. Mint to the hands of countless strangers, quietly circulating for decades, unseen, almost forgotten, until you hold it in your hand. That moment when history, chance, and fortune collide. That moment is real, and it could be yours. You don't need special training. You don't need connections. All you need is awareness and the curiosity to check your coins carefully. Look for the 1988 penny with no mint mark. Examine it closely. Compare it. Research it. One small detail could make a world of difference. And if you find it, the world changes overnight. This is more than just collecting. It's a hunt, a journey, a chance to be part of a story that has eluded most people for decades. The tension, the suspense, the possibility of turning something ordinary into a million-dollar discovery. That's what makes this so thrilling. Remember, the clock is ticking. Every coin in circulation could be the one. Every jar could hold a treasure. The odds are slim, but the payoff is monumental. People have literally stumbled upon their fortunes in the simplest, most mundane ways. And you could be next. A 1988 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. You check it, verify it, and suddenly, everything changes. It's no longer just a penny. It's over $1 million. You're holding a coin in your hand right now, and it looks like any ordinary penny. Copper, worn, maybe a little scratched from decades of circulation. But what if I told you that this ordinary penny could be worth over $1 million? Yes, a single, small coin, hiding in plain sight, quietly waiting for the moment someone recognizes its true value, that it's a 1944 Lincoln penny, no mint mark. Not just any 1944 penny, but the rare version that collectors will pay, without hesitation, more than $1 million to get their hands on. Imagine that. One coin, the size of a fingertip, holding a fortune most of us only dream about. The story behind this penny is almost unbelievable. During World War II, copper was in short supply. The U.S. Mint needed copper for ammunition and military equipment. So in 1944, pennies were supposed to be made of copper, recycled from spent coins, carefully weighed, and produced in bulk. But amid the chaos, a few coins slipped through the cracks. Some were struck on leftover planchets from other years, and that tiny mistake created something incredibly rare, something worth a fortune today. These pennies have been called million-dollar misprints by some collectors, but there's more than just the nickname. There's history, there's mystery, and there's emotion tied to every piece. When a collector holds one, it's like holding a fragment of history, a small piece of the past that has survived wars, recessions, and decades of daily life. That alone is powerful, but add the fact that it could be worth $1 million, and you have a coin that turns heads in any room. How do you separate a regular 1944 penny from the million-dollar version? First, look for the absence of a mint mark. No D, no S, nothing under the date. That's why we call it a no mint mark penny. It was struck in Philadelphia, the only mint that didn't mark its coins at the time. Next, examine the metal itself. Most 1944 pennies are made of copper, but the rare million-dollar penny is actually made of steel coated in zinc. Why? Because of leftover planchets from 1943. The mint accidentally used them in 1944. That small error is what creates the enormous value. A simple magnet test can tell you if your penny is steel or copper. If it sticks, your heart might just start racing, because that's one of the first signs of a million-dollar coin. Every coin has tiny details that matter. Look closely at the rim, the lettering, the wear on Lincoln's bust. True collectors can spot a real 1944 no-mint mark steel penny in seconds, because even minor differences matter. And here's the thing. These coins aren't sitting in museums or vaults. Many are hiding in jars, drawers, old coin rolls, or forgotten collections. Everyday people have unknowingly owned millions in copper and steel without ever realizing it. Imagine finding one of these in your pocket change, at a garage sale, or in a dusty drawer. The shock, the disbelief, The moment you realize the coin you've been holding is not just a penny, it's $1 million piece of history. That's the kind of story collectors dream about. That's the thrill, the suspense, the heart-pounding emotion that comes with discovering a true treasure. And here's where it gets even more dramatic. Many of these coins are flawless, almost pristine, despite their age. The condition matters. A little nick here or there can affect the value by hundreds of thousands of dollars. So learning how to handle, store, and identify these pennies is crucial. Keep it in a protective case. Avoid touching it with bare fingers. Each detail matters, because one scratch could cost you a fortune. Collectors across the country are constantly on the lookout. Coin shows, online auctions, estate sales, they're all hunting for the same thing. And every time a 1944 no mint mark penny surfaces, it makes headlines. One coin, suddenly worth $1 million, changes someone's life forever. Imagine reading that story and realizing it could have been yours. That's the power of this coin. That's the allure, the drama, the suspense. Even if you don't find one today, understanding the history and rarity of these pennies teaches you something priceless. Sometimes, the most extraordinary things are hiding where you least expect them. A coin tossed in a drawer, a penny slipped between pages of an old book, even one forgotten in your pocket. Any of these could be the treasure of a lifetime. That it's more than just money. It's history, mystery, and the chance to hold something incredibly rare in your hand. Every time a collector discovers a 1944 no mint mark penny, it's a moment that combines excitement, disbelief, and awe. The fact that this coin exists at all is miraculous. The fact that it can make someone a millionaire is mind-blowing. So, if you have any old coins lying around, loose pennies, boxes in the attic, jars on the shelf, don't overlook them. Take a careful look, feel the weight, examine the metal, and see if it's different from the rest. Learn to recognize the subtle details that separate an ordinary penny from a truly rare piece. And remember, the world of coin collecting is filled with hidden treasures, just like this one, that some people spend a lifetime searching and never find it. Others stumble upon it by accident. Either way, the story is always the same. One small coin, hidden in plain sight, has the power to change everything. That's why collectors get so excited. That's why the heart races. And that's why a 1944 no mint mark penny can become worth over $1 million in the blink of an eye. History, rarity, condition, and a dash of luck. It all comes together to create this extraordinary moment. And that's the thrill, the suspense, the emotional roller coaster that keeps collectors hunting, examining, and dreaming. Every time someone holds this coin, they're not just holding money. They're holding a story, a mystery, a piece of history that could be their ticket to something unimaginable. This is not just any coin. It's the coin that makes people's hearts race, that makes collectors gasp in disbelief, and that transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. One lucky person, at any moment, could find the coin of a lifetime. That person could be you.